Welcome to MartiniWorks Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Martini, and we're here with Dakota and our very, very own vanilla ice cream, Lars.
I'm more like a Neapolitan.
I feel like if we were all ice cream, Dakota's definitely...
What?
God, you're like a mix of like that peanut butter Reese's kind of.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at you, got the brown pants and the blue, kind of maybe a little bit of M&M going on. You're clearly like cake.
You're like a strawberry.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know
Especially
why.
when you start talking fast.
Because I get really red,
Yeah.
and then my neck vein starts coming out, and then I look like I'm about to lose myself
Strawberry seeds
in the moment. If you guys didn't know, we talk about cars, car parts, car history, the car community, things that are happening in the automotive scene. And of course, if you are looking for car parts, you can mod your car over at MartiniWorks.com. Now, I got called out last week, a couple weeks ago. Somebody sent in an email. They said, Alex, you have not said thank you to the people who have bought stuff off the MartiniWorks podcast. So then I went back.
Wow.
And I went back to the last podcast that I did that. That was 4 podcasts ago.
Oh my God.
Jeez,
It's been a whole month.
Why'd you stop?
Because we just had so much to talk about, I guess. I don't really have a reason. So if you guys want to hear all these names, buckle up. And if you don't, you're going to want to skip forward about 60 seconds.
Don't skip it. These people are important.
I'm going to do
Well, customers matter,
every
Alex
single
Martinez.
person.
Let's see how fast you can really read.
All right.
Go.
Xander T, Sergio C.
Oh.
Well, do I want to do the whole last name?
No.
Okay.
You just say their first name.
Oscar V. Just Oscar? No. Oscar V. Logan E. Isaac T. Jeremy C. Tristan M. Kevin O.A. Duncan C. again. Bristol G. Duke P. Saul P. Paige M. Christabel S.
Whoa.
Benjamin P. again. Juan R. Sergio C. again. We have, hold on, it's loading. Hugh T. Hayden V. Mitchell W. Abdul T. Oh my gosh. Michael C. Fion C. Cyrus C. Cyrus B. That's really interesting.
What the?
Santiago P. Logan C. Victor H. Brian E. Ryan T. See, there's so many different labels for him, so I got to make sure I only do the ones that are like order confirmed. Sean B. Noah V. Nathan B. Michael J. Caleb G. Tristan S. Curtis R.
God damn.
Harrison P. Nathan E. Elijah S. Tyler H. Arturo M. Scott C. Johnny O. Moises J. Jaden S. What else do we got going on here? We got a lot. Jacob R. Garrett C. Joe P.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on, I'm not done yet, boys. I'm not done yet. I'm almost there. Andy H. Zach P. Nathan S. Logan D. Ostani P. Taylor M. Thomas P. Seth W. Braden M. Ashley K. Nishan T. We're almost there. Riley B. Evangelis R. Easton S. Dominic D. Nason T. Jackson H. Ronald H. Christopher W. Sean M. Justin V. Alejandro S. Xavier N. Velasquez Felix. Christopher W. again. And Brandon Tilson.
It's a lot different than the first time you read it.
I know. The first time I read it was, thank you, Ben.
And we knew Ben.
Our customers got some sick ass names though.
So if you guys or gals were in that name list, thank you so much for supporting
Truly.
MartiniWorks. We cannot even express how thankful we are for that opportunity. It's been such a freaking ride over the last 4 to 6 weeks, especially, and just cruising, man. It's like records and it feels good. Now all of a sudden it's like we can actually look at the rent check we have to cut every month, and it's like, all right, this is all right. We're going to make it another month. Life feels
I hope so.
life feels pretty good. So we just want to say thank you so much. With that being said, the newest update to the website just went live. I feel like we should talk about it, Dakota.
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about it on the...
Yeah, you didn't believe
Other
him that it was going to be
podcast.
done on time.
I didn't... Well, I just said I was looking out. I didn't know if we wanted it to be perfect.
It's okay. I understand.
He literally looked at Gels that was sitting in your spot and he goes, "These fucking guys ain't never getting it live on Friday."
All right, we can rewatch the podcast after this. And I did not say that, but
I'm gonna make a diss track about Dakota now. We've
I'm down. I was rapping on the other podcast. Thank people like that. Yeah, our new filter for wheels is live. The wheel verifier.
Yeah, we're calling it the wheel verifier because we don't want it to seem bad or good. We just want it to seem like it is.
It's supposed to just give you information. That's the whole purpose.
And it's made some people really, really happy. And it's made some people, AKA wheel suppliers, somewhat nervous with it as well, which is kind of telling us that we're doing the right thing, I think. So,
yeah, I would agree. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's okay. Like we've all had reps. I've had reps on my cars. I'm sure you guys both have.
I have.
It's fine. Like there's certain budgets for everything. That's totally fine. Just know what you have.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally cool.
buy what you want, know what you have is kind of what we're trying to say here. Because the whole point is we always constitute rep with bad and original with good. And that's just not the case, right? You can have a replica design wheel that is objectively better than an original wheel that's made like poop. So our goal, if you go out into the website, you check out MartiniWorks.com, you go to the wheel side, you're going to be able to see not just is the design a replica design and inspired by design or an original wheel design, you'll also be able to see the construction of the wheel. So is it low pressure cast? Is it rotary forged? Is it fully forged? Is it multi-piece? And that should really help. We really want it to help people that are buying wheels to look at something and say, you know what matters most to me is a really affordable wheel that's rotary forged, because then I know it's good and it's affordable. Then go frickin' buy that, man. You're going to absolutely know exactly what you're getting when you buy a wheel from MartiniWorks, and nobody else is doing it the way that we're doing it.
100%. Some people literally look at wheels. I don't care how it looks at all. I just want the lightest, strongest wheel I can get. That's all I want. I don't care how it looks. And other people are like, I just want this really good looking wheel, and I don't care if it weighs 40 pounds. It looks dope, and I'm going to have perfect fitment. If you want to do that, great. And yeah, the whole point is just know what you're buying. Be educated about it. If it's a replica design, big whoop. If that's what you want, get it. If you look at it and you see, oh, there's the real wheel, and if I save up for one more month, I could get the real set. Good for you. Go for it.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you guys think we got it wrong, right? We got the voting on there right now. You guys can tell us if you think we messed it up.
Yeah.
If it's actually a real design, or if something we tagged as an original design is actually a rep of some other wheel. You guys can tell us that, and we'll update it. We'll absolutely listen, verify the information, fix it.
Yeah, the whole goal is that you guys and gals are a part of this decision with us. We want to be the closest integrated version of what this community is, hands down. We're not selling to you, we're selling with you. We want to make sure that we're supporting you in the most authentic way possible because we believe in this journey, we believe in doing it right. And that means sometimes scaring some suppliers who aren't always super happy about, those labels, but we told them the same exact thing that we're telling you. Hey, if you think we got it wrong, let us know, and if you don't agree or you think, maybe a previous wheel company gave you approval to use that design, well, then show us. And if that's the case, we'll change it up. We'll let you know. And we'll let all of you guys, all the guys and gals that watch this content, we'll let you guys and gals know too, so that way it's fair. We just want it to be open and honest. That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Talk about it.
Enough wheel talk. I got a question because Lars just recently got his car wrapped, partially wrapped. I think it looks killer. Alex, you've had wrapped cars.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had a wrapped car, and I want to know, is it worth it?
Don't.
Oh,
No.
So I can go first on this.
No, you don't. You don't have to. The answer is no.
So for the longest time, I always thought wraps were silly. Right?
Yeah.
I always thought they're if you've ever looked at a wrap up close, any wrap, anywhere, any show you go to, no matter what wrap it is, no matter who did it, right? They're all 10-foot cars, every single one of them. And that's always turned me off of the idea of it. And, I don't want to see peeling. I don't want to look at my car up close or when I'm washing it, you see all the little details and be like, damn, I should not have wrapped this car. I should have painted it. I was always afraid of that. But what's changed my mind about it is doing it in fun ways. So both of my cars now have, some kind of race livery on it. So they're partially wrapped. And to me, that's the right balance of it because I'm not pretending like it's paint, right? I'm not completely changing the look of the car. I'm just kind of updating it. Same thing as like an arrow or something like that. So it's kind of accentuating it versus changing it completely. And for me, that works. I think it's cool. And if it sucks, I peel it off and the car's right back to normal.
Yeah, I've wrapped cars when I just don't want to paint them because it's a fucking pain in the ass. Like I've wrapped cars before. And I've done way more exaggerated wraps than this one, the flesh-colored clapped car, which I love. I think it looks awesome on the track. And I'm just always picking colors that are just a bit off. The only time I think I did a safe color was with the 430. But I will say, wrap's cool. It's rad. It gets a lot of attention. But yeah, I agree. I mean, it's tough, man. By the time you're so invested in doing wrap right, you're weeks into a project, you're spending an absolute crap ton of money. Yeah. And even then, it's like there's still little things that you'll notice that it's just not the same. So whether you're making a conscious decision to just sacrifice a little bit, I think wrap is a super cool option. But if you've got a cool colored car, you don't need to do a full wrap. Do some like a good friend of mine, Brandon Doyster, has a Subaru WRX STI. Beautiful. Yeah. It's like in that white gloss style that he has. And he just did these little like streaks of livery that are like coming through the side skirts, then like up. And he's got some like checkered flags on the back that are like blue and yellow. And it ties into his brake caliper color. And it ties into his wheel color and his wheel sticker that's the same color. That is perfect. You don't need to do a full wrap. I would say half wraps are sometimes cooler than full wraps.
I think that's a big trend for 2024 is these like partial or smaller liveries going on cars. I think when wrap was really getting popular, everyone was doing full, or they were doing, then right after the full was those fucking 50-50. You remember seeing that?
Oh my God. That's so
I think that died down a lot.
And then people started dyeing their hair half and half just to make sure they really sealed the deal in terms of what they look like.
Cruella DeVille.
Yeah, there were 101 Dalmatians, the car scene. It was enough of that. We didn't need that anymore.
I don't think there's any more half wraps. I don't think people are doing that anymore.
No. The big thing is GMRs and lots of camber still. That's still pretty popular.
Cambers.
Half wraps, Marlboro liveries. Getting back into the nostalgia racing of WRC is huge.
Yeah, I feel like camber's slowing down.
I guess I don't know if I really
so?
like when I go to the car shows. I still see plenty of it. I still see the FRS BRZs with the popped out corner lights because every single time they turn the tire or turn the steering wheel, it fucking pops out.
I think we'll see what happens with that over the next couple of years, though, because I do agree we see them all the time at all the shows, but I don't remember the last time I heard somebody say, I just finished my stance build.
Well, I don't think anybody like self-defines it as that. I think they just say they finished their build.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is, what are the new camber builds, right? I think what we're seeing are the ones who were finished 2, 3, 4 years ago.
That over there, the GRD6 is a really common stance car. When we were at Riverside, we saw the guy that had a Prius front end on his, and he had it on the ground. And I thought it looked pretty sick. I don't think I would ever do it because I already have a tough enough time keeping my cars on the road without being stance piles of shit. So making it stance makes it even worse. Well, I didn't say his was a big giant pile of shit. I'm just saying mine have a tendency. It may have a tendency to be a little bit more difficult. When you purposely make your car harder to drive, you are also unintentionally making your car harder to drive. Hear me out.
Yeah.
You are actually compounding the difficultness because things are going to be harder that you didn't plan for. Now the car that was okay at driving is now terrible at driving. You wanted it to just be kind of shit. Now it's super shit. But you're so invested you can't go back. And that's why stance people just hate waking up in the morning.
The stance people that I see nowadays, it ain't like it used to be. They're all trailering their cars to the show.
Oh my God, did you see the video I did of that 350Z?
Yeah, the one that literally was like flat ground scraping.
Yeah.
They arrive at the show on a trailer, but getting them down takes the damn forklift now.
Yeah. For real. Like, I don't know. I feel like there was a lot more driving back in the day. Now everything's just trailered. Like, it's like cool to get your car trailered to the show.
Well, I think what I always found the most interesting about the situation at Riverside, he seemed like a nice guy. I didn't really have a chance to talk to him, but like everybody was watching, right? And I was even filming, and I'm assuming he probably felt really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's watching him get his car off the trailer. He got the attention. It's so cool. And then the car got off the trailer, and not a single person was like into the car. They're just like, all right, we're done. Walked away. So is it just like the excess that you think people love about stance, or do you think there are people out there, like Matt Ritz, for instance, right? Matt Wirtz has like a proper look on what a good stance car could look like.
Yeah, we've talked about his car before. I think stance can be done super well, and it can be done horribly. And I think the people that do it well spend a lot of time perfecting it and measuring. Whoa, our whole floor is shaking.
If you guys are wondering, our new shop is actually located in the same world as Dune. We're on Arrakis right now.
Not Dune again. We're getting
Make it
pavement. It's exciting. We've had gravel outside
to
of our
avoid the
shop.
worms.
Yeah. So we're gonna have pavement, and they're moving the earth today.
Yeah.
So
they got that outside. So if you hear some vibrations,
Or beeping.
it ain't me. You know.
But I think I agree. The good stance cars are really good. But I think the internet, the clout, the attention from it, like you're describing, has taken all the skill kind of out of it. It is just about extreme now, right? And it's kind of the nature of stance is how can I make these 14 wides fit on my car? It's supposed to have 10 wides at most. So, but it's gotten so far, and people just want to get it done immediately that they don't bother extending their fenders anymore or measuring properly, right? Or getting the right offsets to actually clear. You know, they just slam them as far as they can. They get as much camber in the car as possible and call it a day. Try to get it on the trailer somehow and hope it makes it.
I think if you want to be competing against like the Matts of the world or even like the Josh Freemans of the world, there is no shortcuts in building a proper stance
years
car.
and money.
Yeah,
Just both
literally.
of that together.
I mean, there's plenty of money. You start going into the suspension side of your car and you really start tinkering around with ball joints and control arms and things like that, and you start spending like name brand money, you are spending just as much on a piece that nobody will ever see for you to get the fitment you want as probably the price of the car itself. Like everything is so damn expensive.
Yeah.
Even like the spherical mounts on this car was like $1,200.
my
Just,
God.
and I was like, what?
Yeah. And then you get
Like,
into-
but it's good. It's good. It's good though. Don't worry. It's
and then
good.
Even if you get it all running and driving, everything's perfect, right? Then you're still at the very least you're chewing through tires so damn fast, which means you get like the worst, cheapest tires you can find, and it's still a problem. It's always gonna be a problem.
I
It's
think
nature.
the most popular upcoming scene is the E36 and E46 crown.
Dude, E36s are getting so fucking popular.
Yeah.
Expensive.
Yeah.
My God, those cars were like $8,000 2-3 years ago. When I had mine, I bought it. I bought two. I got a spare car with mine. It was
Two
$5,500.
for
I
one
wouldn't get-
special.
It was $5,500. And
Logo.
and that
Friday.
same car cleaned up, fixed, repainted, and so on. Like the guy did a ton of work on it. To be fair, but just the one car ended up selling for $15,000 3 years later.
Holy shit.
No thanks.
No maintenance done. I did all the maintenance to get it running before selling it, and then just cleaned it up, fixed it, done.
I've talked to a lot of people though that have had E36s and they love them. They love that platform. Even people that didn't even have them that long and stuff, they love their E36.
I think it captures the same type of experience as a Miata does. It is a driver's car. It has just the right amount of like tech and like comfort, but not too much for you to get distracted with. And it's just got just enough fun to where, you don't feel like you're driving a car. You feel like you're experiencing the car. And there's a few cars out there that really capture that moment. And I think the E36 in the right spec and E46 in the right spec are perfect examples of that. I think the Miata is another example of that. Honda S2000 in its stock form is a really great example of that.
I like the disclaimer.
Yeah, there are cars that are just they hit it right, and a lot of times I feel like it's the sub 250 horsepower cars, like small chassis,
Some
sub
of the most-
250 horsepower, perfect.
Some of the most fun cars I've ever driven are under 250 horse.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Like half the fun of enjoying like really ripping on a car is like on an on ramp or something, and you're just in second gear just doing a pull, and when it's in some of these modern 600 horsepower cars or something, it's over so fast, or you're about to go to jail for going 150 miles an hour on a highway, right? But like in a 200 horsepower, you can wind that baby out all the way, and you're still relatively safe and probably legal by the time you get to the bottom of the ramp.
I just feel like when you have a lower horsepower like that, you're more in control.
Yeah.
There's more reward.
Yeah, you can drive the car more.
Yeah, there's more to brag about, I think, too. When you have a low horsepower car and you're pulling it like to its limits and you're doing everything you possibly can to shave time and go everywhere. You're on a track and you're doing something and you get to pass a car that's got twice the horsepower. You want to tell that person they suck and you're awesome. Like there is just this innate natural thing that happens to where when you know it's nothing but you driving the car versus the car driving you, I think it kind of flips this thing in people's heads, which is just makes it such a fun driving experience. The Miata will never outrun you, but it'll do exactly what you tell it to do. So when you start finding that little finesse point, oh my God, it's such a cool feeling. Whereas like a 500 horsepower or even like a GR Corolla, it's like, when are you going to wind out a GR Corolla to its maximum potential? Even at like 300 horsepower. It's like, you're probably not, at least for a good long while, or unless you're really experienced in driving cars.
Yeah, I agree. And in learning it, right? Like it's so hard to learn to control all that stuff. Where you just with 200 horsepower, you just kind of go have fun, go play. Everything's safe. Everything's reliable.
Yeah, you're not breaking anything. You can run a whole season in a spec Miata for like $4,000.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I mean, whether you're making 200 horsepower or 500 horsepower, Continental Tire is probably the tire for you.
Absolutely.
And they are the official sponsor of this podcast. So if you haven't gone and picked up a set of DWS 06 Pluses or Extreme Contact Sport 02s or something that they offer, they have a rebate going on right now this month where you can get $110 off. So I definitely recommend picking up a set of tires if you need them. Sometimes I know like wheels can be more flashy or lowering your car can be more flashy, but I'm telling you, if you have a good set of tires on your car, you will enjoy it just as much as getting a set of wheels or suspension. So Conti, it's the way, man. They got all the sizes you'll ever need. They have a tire for every situation. So thank you to Continental for sponsoring the podcast and being on the majority of our cars.
The real question I want to ask the internet today is, where is my goddamn jingle?
Oh my God, give it up.
No.
Give it up.
No.
Where is your goddamn turbo is a better question.
So if you guys and gals didn't have a chance to watch the latest Alex Martini video where the S2000 went to Road America for its shakedown, you're going to want to watch it because it's explosive. It's fiery.
It's lit.
Yeah, the video's fire.
Yeah, it's a warm, hot bundle of joy. You know, it started on fire.
How many more puns did we have to make before you got it?
The car was aflame for a brief period of time. It
Clap car lived up to clap car.
Oh, that was a clap thing to do.
That was a very that was a very clapped car activity. You giant pile of junk. No, it was actually going really good. So until the fire. We were testing it out on Road America. First couple stints, awesome. Got more comfortable with the car. Had little issues here and there that we started to learn. Like we need to put stays and stuff in the bumper. Otherwise, at high enough speed, the whole front bumper-ish starts to shake because there's not enough.
Yeah, you had that bitch all duct taped
reinforced, yeah. And so it was feeling pretty good. It was self-clearancing in the back, which is always really fun. I got pictures on the carousel, and you just see this like white smoke, and somebody thought it was like tire or fire. No, it's the body kit. Just
fiberglass.
It's
melting
just
away.
fiberglass.
Don't breathe that.
No. But no, it was good. The final, I think it was stint 4. I was doing 2 cold laps to every 1 hot lap. So I was coming through on a hot lap. I was feeling really good. Not going above 125 just because I wanted to keep away from the bumper shake. And as I was coming up, I think 12 into 13, I heard like this little pop. And I was like, that's a new noise. Don't like hearing new noises on racetracks.
Noises are bad on racetracks.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm going to ease up. So I eased up through 13. And all of a sudden, I kind of just see like a small amount of like smoke kind of just permeating in the passenger footwell. I'm like, that's really not good. And so pulled over into the pit lane as I'm coming up. And I'm like, God, do I turn the car off? Do I not turn the car off? I need to get close, but I don't want to get too close. Where do I stop? So I turn the car off as I'm coasting. And then I start slowing down too much. I'm like, I got to turn the car back on. So I turn the car back on, and I'm trying to like look for the fire truck that's there, like the marshals they're not there. The fire marshal truck is not there. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I keep driving, and I exit that false grid, and I go into the paddock, and I'm looking for like, I don't know, like a water hose or something. Just, I don't know. I'm just looking for a safe place to go because I didn't want to go all the way into the pits and have a fire next to a bunch of people. But I also didn't want to just stop in the middle of nowhere, then have no help at all.
Right.
I go and I look behind me, and I see that the fire suppression system is primed, so we're good. The smoke is kind of growing, and I'm like, okay, there's definitely something happening in there. Park the car, rip the e-brake, pop off the harness, and I open up the hood, and I just see, whoosh, and it all comes up at once.
Terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And I run over to the driver's side of the car, and I yank on that fire suppression handle. Just yank on it. Nothing.
Oof.
Nothing.
It's a weird way to suppress fire.
And I look around, and I saw Lars that was like, God, I don't know, 150 feet away. And I just yelled, fire, fire, fire. And I'm expecting like some sort of movement outside of just Lars like getting out of his car because
there's people around you, right?
We had a fire extinguisher in the trailer. I should have had another fire extinguisher in the car. But like the guy that was like 40 feet away from me literally goes, we got a fire over here. A little fire over here. And he just walks back. And I'm like, motherfucker. And I'm like, fire, fire. So then Lars comes rushing in. puts out the fire in like 3 seconds. It was actually a really easy fire. So we had a pretty interesting situation. We had oil and coolant pretty much everywhere in the front half of the engine bay. The turbo blanket kind of acted as an incubator for the flame. And so we're currently sourcing and figuring out the true root cause of what caused it so that we can fix it. We had ECU masters send us a whole ECU and kind of sensor system that we'll be installing as well so that we can have greater visibility on what the engine is doing and how the engine is behaving, because the HON data just not really up to the task of what we're looking to do. So that's what happened.
You got lucky, dude.
Yeah, that
Could
could have been
a lot worse.
I was honestly thinking about peeing on it.
Shout out Lars. I mean, peeing on it probably wouldn't be terrible.
I just
Your
like
stream is that strong. Good for you, man.
Yeah, for
Good
real.
you,
If
buddy.
you can put out a fire with your piss.
I mean, like it didn't seem
That's
like
a
a
man.
bad. It didn't seem like
Yeah.
a bad idea though, right? Like you could pee on a fire.
I
and
was
put it
trying
out.
to
metal.
think of it. Like I was gonna make fun of you right away for it, but then I was like, you know what? That's actually like probably one of the best ideas you've ever fucking had.
If I had a car and I was
Spilled
in the
headlights, full
desert
circle.
and my car started on fire, but I had to pee, I'm pissing on my car. 100%.
So imagine like I had my boosted case, big turbo S2000 on the track, and it caught on fire, and I pissed it out. Didn't flinch. So I unzipped, streamed that fucking
I
down.
had a whole fire suppression system, and I just pissed on
Didn't need it. Didn't need it.
I think I'm gonna take it out. I'm just gonna drink water before
Yeah.
track day.
Couple bottles of water, same thing.
My big turbo.
my
Honda
stream.
2000's on fire. I just pissed on it. And I was fine.
It was a really great time. Really enjoyed it. I would say not necessarily the highlight of the car, but we
Some
are.
important lessons there.
Yeah, we are gonna get it. Who's calling me from Havana, Florida? That's not even a real city.
Anyway,
That's in Cuba.
That's what I was thinking. You're not allowed to call people.
hey, I do want to say it was really cool to see because I was there video filming, of course, not at that spot at that time because that's the way it goes. But beforehand, it was cool to see you guys prep for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you were doing some training with Alex, like, hey, if this happens, sometimes you can't see anything. So like you're like blindfolding and taking off all your harness and getting out of the car and practicing that. That was so smart. And I guess from an outside perspective, it could look a little silly, like, oh, come on, guys, what are you doing? But look how real that scenario was and how quick that shit happened. So it's something to think about if you go to a track day, like have redundancy. He had a fire suppression system, and that wasn't enough. He needed another, fire extinguisher in the car. He practiced getting out of the harness, ripping out of that shit quick because you never know what's going to happen. And lately, dude, it's like
Every car's starting on
every
fire.
week there's a influencer with a car that's on fire.
Yeah,
That's
I
tough.
just wanted to be like one of the cool kids.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good reminder, right? Like because all that stuff is just become kind of a habit. But when you get a brand new car, you just finished building it. We just put that harness in there. And for anybody watching who's wondering, like what we literally did was we had Alex sit down, put on the harness, tighten it down all the way, not a little bit, like all the way. Put the helmet on, close it, and I said, close your eyes, get out of your car as fast as you can. And sure enough, like you never want to have to do that stuff, right? But it's like sometimes bad stuff just happens. So I'm glad it worked out. Obviously, nobody was hurt. Alex wasn't hurt. The car, we'll see. We'll figure out what happened.
Yeah.
Better than what I thought when I heard that it started on fire. I was like, oh my God, that thing's toast.
Yeah, the good news is the fact that it's a Honda platform has been a blessing in disguise. Specifically with this, we've been able to tear into it with Corey Talaska and Jackson and kind of just really trying to diagnose what happened, where did it go wrong. We think it's a couple issues that all happened at the same time, not a single issue. But getting in there and tearing things out and replacing them and finding the new sensors and finding what we'll need to do has been really easy. And that's been fantastic. And I think it goes just back to some of our previous conversations of people looking to jump into racing or driving a little bit more than just casual. And it's like, dude, get a platform that's just easy to work on.
Yeah.
Just simple, easy platform. I mean, obviously we got some weird stuff in that car, but like Honda, Miata, E36, like base chassis model stuff where you can buy stuff at O'Reilly's or Advance, and it's like you'll have such a better time when these
Right, so many
mistakes
people are
happen.
ripping fits.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Go to AutoZone, O'Reilly's, and just pick up your
just
shit.
go get a car, drive it stock, right? Switch your tires, make sure your brake fluid's good, but just go drive it, enjoy it, and then build it from there, right? And then you'll run into issues as you go. But if I could, quick disclaimer, I think the big lesson here was to get a fire extinguisher and keep it in your car, mount it somewhere it's safe, so
A
it doesn't
secondary
flop around.
fire extinguisher, yeah.
Some kind of second, and I'm guilty of this. I've never had a fire extinguisher in my car before. So, that made me go buy one for each of my cars just to have. And it's just always going to be in my car now. And then the second thing I would say is invest in some safety equipment. Even if it's just, obviously a helmet is important, but get some like fireproof gloves. That's the first thing that I started using that day actually. And then I started buying some of the other equipment from the recent race day we had, which I think that video is coming out soon. But I'm going to start wearing that equipment every single day.
That was the
investing in that stuff. It's important.
I'll tell you the one thing that was probably the scariest moment of having the car on fire, and that was when I was coming up that pit lane, and I saw the smoke bellowing on the passenger side, and I could tell it was just getting warmer. And for some reason, that smoke wasn't coming through on the driver's side. But as I was coasting, which felt like I was going 1,000,000 miles an hour and no miles an hour at the same time, I'm like, I don't have shoes on that I would be able to withstand the heat of getting the car outside of this false grid if I couldn't put I was just wearing, normal, I think my lawn shoes is what I was ending up wearing that day. And it's like, and you start to really think about that. It's like, if I couldn't have pressed the pedals because it was too hot, I would have been screwed. And so the safety equipment on that stuff, it can't be overstated. If the fire was coming through and all of a sudden the steering wheel's too hot, now you can't use the steering wheel. You can't use the foot pedals because everything's just getting too hot.
Or if you need to open the hood to get to the fire and you can't because you'll burn your fucking hands.
Because it's too hot,
Yeah, so it was definitely a learning experience. But the one thing that I can say is one of the places or one of the things that I've learned that is almost guaranteed to not be the cause of fires are coilovers. And I can honestly say that I've never been in a room where Fortune Autos have been the cause of a fire.
No,
I've never seen them starting fires.
No, never.
I've only been seeing them setting lap records, which is why I'm proud to say that the MartiniWorks podcast is also sponsored by Fortune Auto, one of our preferred coilover companies for the MartiniWorks podcast. These guys have an absolute boatload of different fitments available, 300 fitments actually in total, which means if you have a car that could be on a racetrack or could be at a drift day, they have coverage for you. What makes Fortune Auto very special is that digressive piston. It makes it very fun on the track, gives you a really great response, and it's also really great on the street as well, so you don't feel like you're about to throw off your back when you're going 45 down a country road. Really love Fortune Autos. They've been absolutely fantastic for us. We're running them in the S2000. We're running them in a whole bunch of cars. We've absolutely had nothing but great things to say. So if you're on the fence of investing into your car, when you're going into coilovers, you want to save up a couple bucks, definitely recommend Fortune Auto 500 or 510 series. And thank you, Fortune Auto, for sponsoring the MartiniWorks podcast. I got a question for y'all and the community as well. So if you're listening in, drop it in the comment section or just tell us on our latest Instagram post, okay?
Hit me.
How have you handled your ride being mocked?
Ooh. Say not well. I don't know. No,
I have a gun. Just kidding.
How is my gun handled being mocked? No. I think it's definitely got way better over the years. I think when I was first getting into the car scene and modifying my car, you think you have something nice, and then someone calls you out on the internet or whatever, and you take it pretty hard. You spent all of your $43 on that, and it was really nice, and it took you literally 30 minutes to do. So
my K&N air intake does increase horsepower. It was $200.
Hot air intake.
The box says plus 3 horsepower.
And nowadays I don't know. I think I feel like if you literally take no offense even slightly to it, maybe something's a little wrong, because it's something you're building, you're passionate about, and you think looks really good. I think you should have some type of reaction, a little bit. Not saying you got to lash out or fight back or insult them, but you should be like, that's fucking dumb. They're dumb.
I think the worst ones for me are not the people who are outright just being, they're just kind of being dicks. It's when somebody accidentally points out something that maybe you didn't even know about.
Oh, I hate that shit.
So there's one patch of rust on the M3, just one. It's in the usual spot. Anybody who has an E46 knows, but somebody pointed at it, just off to the side of their body, and I was like, yeah.
Dude, they always manage to fucking do that. I remember Giles has a story that's so funny. It was right after he wrapped the RX-8, and he did it all himself for the first time, super proud of it, brings it to a show, and just on his mirror, it was tough to wrap around the mirror, so there's a little fold. He said a guy came up, pulled his phone out, took a picture of the mirror, and then just walked away. And that was his first interaction of bringing it to the show.
Right to the heart.
One bad imperfection. It's just there's a magnet. People find that shit, and then yes, they always find a way to bring it up or take a photo of it or whatever. Every single time. Now mine, it's happening pretty consistently is, oh, you got a Supra? Yeah. The manual one?
Oh.
No, the manual one wasn't out when I got it. And then you got to explain the whole thing. And
That happens all the time. Like just, oh, did you get the most expensive, most rare, most ultra unique version?
Yeah.
No, I
did
don't.
not.
No, I don't. Okay, we don't have that kind of money. I'm trying to think of like the last time somebody said something silly. I've had back at Gatlinburg. I remember somebody came up to me and like decided to tell me why they didn't like the Nissan Z. Like they were telling me why they would never buy one instead of like just talking about the car. And I was like, and it was like, okay, yeah. He's like, man, I don't know why you'd buy this. I mean, I it's 400 horsepower, sure, but you can get a Supra, and that one is and it comes in a manual now, and the paint, the yellow, I'm just not so sure about it, and I've heard, it's just kind of blah, and I'm like, no intro to talking about it.
Who are you?
and that's the best when it's an opinion. It's entirely based on other people's opinion. Like come to me with your own opinion first off.
I'm like, thank you. I didn't really plan for this sort of feedback.
So what do you think? How do you handle it?
I said, as somebody who owns one, well, first I asked if they owned one, because I think that's important. Because sometimes there's a chance of them saying, yeah, I own one, and I don't like it. It's like, oh, okay.
You humbled him.
I was like, well, do you own one? He's like, no. And I said, well, have you had a chance to drive one? And he's like, no. And I said, you should drive one first. I said, some of the things that you're saying, sure. I said, but with any new car, you're going to have some hesitations from the market. And I think what matters isn't just how a car is initially perceived, but how it'll be perceived over time. And if you look at historically, the 370Z, the 350Z, the 300ZX, the 240SX, and the Datsuns before that, Nissan has always objectively made properly good, affordable sports cars over time. And so I think this will just be another one, just maybe a little bit further down the line.
Just sells it as soon as he gets back.
Literally, yeah. Whoever that was, that's why he sold it.
And I sold it immediately.
But I think it's an interesting point too, especially with newer cars, right? Like a lot of them, the kind of the soul behind them isn't discovered until many, many years afterwards.
Yeah,
a lot of the classics today were not classics when they were new.
Mm-hmm.
And
E46, perfect example.
Mark IV Supra.
Perfect example.
E36s too. Nobody really cared when they came out. And then years after, they're like, God, that car was really fucking good.
Why is that? Why do you not realize it in the moment, but you realize it years later? Why is that?
I think it's because it's a numbers game, right? That's a perfect example. Like, yeah, Supra has X more horsepower, right? Or like, this comes in this transmission versus that one, right? But then it's like anything can ruin one of those other cars. Like, not saying a Supra's a bad car by any stretch, but like, because it didn't really come out in manual until recently, maybe, the majority of them will never really catch on, but those manuals only will, right? Mm-hmm. Or like maybe some reliability issues discovered with a Z later on where, you never know. Or like, with my car, the S55s have the crank hub issue, right? Maybe people will never love them, but odds are, if you don't today, maybe you will later. You just don't know until you give it some time to breathe.
Yeah. I think with you get past like reading the brochure and you start going into like pure stories. Yeah. Like you buy a car because your buddy has one and it's really rad, or it's really shit and I'm never going to buy that. And you don't have that at the beginning. You really only have what the dealer tells you, what the 15 people who were paid by Nissan to make a YouTube video tells you, and then maybe 3 articles of, Chris Farah talking about how it's okay, but the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S is the best fucking tire in the entire world. Like, that's kind of how a lot of it goes. And so you don't get that until somebody else owns one, which is why when we initially talked to even like Dustin and some of these other guys that had the Nissan Z before we got ours, it was always kind of a weird conversation to be like, well, do you like it or do you not like it? And they're like, honestly, we don't know. And I don't think we'll own the car long enough to know. And it's something that we might have to just come back to. I
think one other thing that does that is it's so easy to compare when it's not your money. When you don't get a chance to drive them all, right? And like perfect example is the Ferrari, the 430. When the 458 came out, everybody was like dogging on any 430 owner, right? There's the Top Gear episode where Jeremy Clarkson made so much fun because the guy had a 430 that he was driving at the time. It's like, this thing is useless now because the 458 comes out. But bullshit. A 430 is a fantastic car. Nobody's upset driving a 430.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's impossible. So like it's also nonsense. Just go drive what you enjoy. Go drive what you can afford and enjoy.
There are some cars that I think have always hit the nail on the head with it, and I think BMW is probably really, really close to that. But I would even argue anything that found success in the early 2000s is probably still running on that same recipe to this day. And I think that's why a lot of times we like the cars that we like. The inline 6, very balanced. The chassis of the BMW, very balanced. They kind of sound funky. I'm not a huge fan of the way that they sound, but from a driver's perspective, I think they make a bang-on car.
Yeah. Some of it, cars just have soul, right? And the ones who've kept that soul are still successful, like you're saying.
New car, what do you think is like a good car that's going to have soul?
A car that came out recently that has soul?
Let's say like the last 10 years.
Oh, last 10 years. Oh, I was going to say like last 3.
You're stuck to the same fucking 5 cars we always talk about.
Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to think.
C7 Corvette.
Oh, my God.
I'm dead set on it.
I
Dead
agree.
set on it.
I agree.
The last year, front-engined, rear-wheel drive, Chevy Corvette, they fine-tuned that chassis. That chassis was probably at its peak, the best that chassis could ever be. And in addition to that, from the C5 to the C7, Corvette dominated in racing. They did objectively incredible in almost every series that they touched.
C7R, phenomenal.
C7 is such a great platform of a car. And I'm not saying the C8 is worse by any means, but they're relearning so much with that chassis now, where it's like that car is going to need 10 years to become to the same level of soul that probably driving a C7 vet is.
I think another one that will be a future classic is actually the Corvette's little brother, and not we're not sponsored by Chevy or anything, but the Camaro, the 1SS LE or the 1LE.
yeah.
I'm not good with the Camaro ones, but I saw so many of them at the track, and every time I saw one, I was like, that thing is freaking cool.
Yeah.
And like the owners always love them. They're dead nuts reliable. They always perform. They're lighter than you'd think. And I really think like those are gonna pop off one day.
They actually just look heavy, but they're not heavy.
not
Whereas
bad.
the Nissan doesn't look heavy and is heavy.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. I don't understand it. Why does the hood of that car weigh 5,000 pounds? We don't know.
Yeah.
Just Nissan.
It's like steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the heaviest hood I've ever did feel.
Okay. Wait, rapping again, huh? I like it.
Did I rap?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. Now I'm doing it just... I can't come up with a car. I've been trying to think of one that has soul, that's modern, that has came out recently, and I don't know. It's tough. Everything with modern cars like has started to feel so similar, you know?
Yeah, it's like people say the new 1M or M1 or 1 Series BMW looks like a Kia trying to be a BMW.
Oh, the 2 Series, yeah.
I was like, that's kind of true.
I agree.
They look the same.
It makes me very sad that car is associated with the M2 because unlike the rest of the series, they share almost no parts. Like the 2 Series is front wheel drive based, right? Anyway, different.
It's
topic.
like
Lars is telling as many people as he can that he doesn't have the same car.
one car
please, it's not a 2
manufacturer
Series.
does something cool, and then all of them have to do it. And it's like, nah. Like,
It's like TikTok, but for cars.
I feel like...
Yeah.
One trend takes off, and then they all do it.
Yeah, older cars I feel like are so distinguishable between each other, and now modern day cars are so similar between all of them. Like you look at their interiors, and it's hard to even tell them apart. Like there isn't a lot of character and a lot of soul. So I don't know. It's tough, honestly.
And I think some of the like innovative cars are innovating in like technology, which will all be useless in 10 years. Like an Audi interior looks stunning today. You get in like an S7 or something like that, an S5, any of those. But in 5 years, when we have the next version of those screens, they're gonna look stupid.
That's why dashes like tacks and stuff were always just, it's good. You know, it's just a solid look to a car. I always thought it was funny where I saw a video one time of Pagani Huayra putting it in reverse, and it had a reverse camera, and it's like a 244p reverse camera, some PS2 level quality shit. It's like, oh, that looks terrible. How much does that car cost? It's like, oh God.
And then you remember that car was made in like 2008 or something?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that stuff ages so bad. That's why it's like with the new WRX, I cringe so bad seeing that huge fucking tablet that they put in the dash. It's massive. It's like,
Yeah.
it already looks outdated.
I've got one more.
Okay.
One more car, and of course I'm going to it. But it does not need to be the expensive version. Porsche 997,
Agreed. Yeah.
I think is if you wanted a car that could do it all forever, I think you get a 997, you'd be happy as a client for the rest of your life.
And like a Carrera.
Yeah, like a
You don't need to
Carrera
mess with a
2.
turbo.
You don't need a Carrera 4
Yeah.
or a GTS or a Turbo or a Turbo S or a blah, 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 blah. You just get a Carrera. Like, oh my God. There's so many people I've heard that drive them every day. Every single day. They have 170, 180,000 miles on their 997. Do not care. Absolutely love it.
And that's a phenomenal example of what we said earlier of like having the better quote unquote version, right? Like who said 350 horsepower is not enough?
Right.
Yeah.
Like what the hell?
That's plenty to do whatever you
In a
want.
tiny car.
Yeah, and they have the headlights, and they have the iconic taillights, and it's got the good arches, and it's got everything that you need. Because once you get into like 991 numbers, oh my God, those cars have gotten so expensive. Every Porsche is $1 billion. It actually almost makes used Ferraris a more competitive option when people start looking at buying a used 991 Porsche.
Yeah.
It's insane. And they're 2015. We're talking about a 2015 car that you can buy for the same price as a 458, which I just think is silly.
That's crazy.
Or an F12. Not that I've been looking on Marketplace, but I was looking at Dodge Vipers, and then I saw that there was an F12 available, and I was like, whew, or an FF, I'm sorry. I was like, ooh.
Wait, what's F12?
FF is a Ferrari. It's like a California.
Oh, so the FF is the hatch with
Yes.
the V12. The F12 is the front wheel drive. Oh, sorry, the front engined
Rear wheel drive.
V12.
Ford and Ferrari put Fs in their titles. I think only one should be able to do
They
it.
should race it out at Le Mans.
F250, F430, F150, FF.
You're asking
I'm
the
sick
right
of it.
question.
I know. Well,
You-
just one of them gets it.
The only question I want to ask Ferrari is why are their names so boring for their cars?
The new one, I can't.
They would have some Italian ass answer for that shit too.
They're Ferrari A12 Cylindri. 12 cylinder. Oh, okay. Ferrari La Ferrari. Ferrari the Ferrari. Ferrari Testarossa.
That one's kind of cool.
Ferrari Redhead. That's a good one.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like
that one's
one.
kind of
And then-
cool.
And then F40, F50, and so on are just anniversaries.
Yeah. And then they didn't want to make an F60 because we're not
Yeah.
doing
Well,
that.
the Enzo was the
Someone
F60
that did it
technically.
worse than anyone though, I think, is BMW. I don't know what those.
I don't know what the
fucking
fuck's
shits-
going on over there.
So
I don't know what
bad.
any of it means.
I have a I saw like a TikTok comment where it was like BMW's talking shit to Audi owners, and I was just in there just reading, trying to see what the kids are about. And the dude's like, I have a F80 some X M240i X
Dude,
Drive Premium Platinum WeatherTech package
yeah.
with the i42 KBD T2 G6 Turbo. I'm like, how many acronyms
Yeah.
could you put in a
And that's
tweet?
the fucking base model.
Yeah.
It's like, so you have a base model 240. This is- yeah.
And it's even confusing the customers, right? Like you have people posting online that they have there's a TikTok I saw or a reel or something where it was a person announcing that they bought an i4, but the back of it and the front have M badging. So they said it was an M4, but it was so obviously the electric car. I was like, I didn't say this. I don't argue with people about this stuff, but like, you do not have an M4. You have a great car. It's not a fucking
I
M4.
could see Lars getting real.
Yeah,
about
well, it's
that.
I think AMG started that, where
Yeah.
AMG was like one day they're like, okay, well, how about AMG? Only thing that our label goes on is upfitted, higher horsepower cars that we touch. You give us an E550, we give you back an E55. Good. And then the E63 came along. They're like, okay, we'll do it again. And then they're like, well, wait a minute. We'll make a budgeter version of the AMG. We'll
This
give
is
it
where it
back
all
to
goes
you.
wrong.
That's what they ruined.
Would you
it.
guys like that? Mercedes is like, 62% of the value of our cars depreciates in the first 2 years. We'll take it.
Yeah.
And like they literally started throwing AMG badges on everything. And now the concept of having a coupe is no longer a coupe because it could be a Grand Coupe, it could be a Sport Coupe, it could be a GT Coupe, which is all different door numbers for some reason. And then you have the AMG GTS Coupe. Then you have the AMG GTS that's a sedan. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Now, yeah, even Volkswagen has done this they have their R series, which are their like best cars in the lineup. So you have like the Golf R or the Scirocco R or whatever. But now there's R line.
Yeah.
That they literally take a base model ass car, whether it's a Jetta or whatever, CC, and then it's the same symbol R and little font line.
Yeah.
So like you don't get the engine, but we'll give you the
Yeah, you
the
get
mud
nothing.
flaps.
Yeah, you're gonna get some fucking side skirts.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be sick.
I think a company that did it well, at least for the first couple of years, was Hyundai. Like with their N line.
Yeah.
Except it wasn't a line back then. It was just like a Veloster.
Well, they do that
N.
now. They're still the only ones that do that. There's no non-N line Hyundai. It's just if you have a Hyundai
They're young
Veloster
though,
N.
so I'm not holding my breath.
And they have like the former engineers from like a lot of other cooler brands.
Yeah, they just hired another guy from BMW.
Yeah, they have the M engineer, right, or the chief of engineering from M back in the day. So I think they're catching like those old things that made M work, and like they're redoing it in modern times. So maybe that'll be a future classic.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
some of
hate
those N line cars.
This R line shit or slapping AMG on anything or whatever, it's like participation trophies
Yeah.
to the fucking base models to make people feel special about the car they're getting.
And just make more money. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's all about
Such a
making more
marketing
money.
stunt.
Yeah.
Which is why, at the end of the day, all right, you either get the cheapest model you possibly can or you save up for the most expensive. No in between. We either go in debt or we buy something reasonable. You hear me? That's how it is to be a car guy or gal. All right. Now, with that being said, we do appreciate you guys listening to the MartiniWorks podcast. If you are looking for car parts, check us out over at MartiniWorks.com. We're actually working on getting Raise and Volk added to the website right now.
Hell yeah.
We do have that wheel verification, that wheel verifier filter that we'd love for you to check out. If you're looking looking for wheels and tires, we package them together now. We'll ship them to your door. We've seen a lot of awesome success from that. So thank you so much for the support. Dakota, anything to add?
Bada bing, 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 bing.
That's a terrible slogan, dingle thing. Lars?
Dingle.
M performance is not M.
Thank you.
This guy's never going to let it go.
M performance is not M. I mean, I agree.